So today I'm going to give a quick update on our R32 ductless and FLEXX products. First, I'll just do kind of a quick review of the ductless, then I'll really talk about the upcoming changes to the product coming a little later this year. So beginning with our high tier product, this is our Sapphire. It's the high efficiency model. This we're able to achieve up to 30 SEER2. It's available in 9K through 24K high wall models in 230 volts. And it has the heating capability down to -22, and it can cool down to -20 and up to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Vireo, this is our mid-tier product. It's going to get up to 26 SEER2. It is available in 9K through 24K models and 230 volts on the high wall, heating capacity down to -22 Fahrenheit, cooling down to -20 and up to 122. Invo, this is the newer product for this year. It is a mid-tier fresh air product. Performance very similar to the Vireo. It's going to be up to 26 SEER2, available in 9 through 24K models in a high wall configuration. It's going to get the heating down to -22, cooling down to -20 and up to 122. What makes this unique is it's going to have the smart humidity control, and it also will have an available fresh air kit. And we've done presentations on the fresh air kit before. But basically, that little fresh air kit acts as a miniature ERV to exchange stale indoor air with fresh outdoor air. But because it has the ERV cube inside of it, you're going to get some humidity and thermal exchange as well, so you're not just pulling in raw outside air. However, this unit is available only by special order or container direct. It's not something that we're going to readily stock here in the United States. And of course, the entry tier product are Levo. It's going to get up to 19 SEER2, so very high efficiency rating for an entry tier product. That is available in high wall models 9K through 36K in 230 volt. And in the 115 volt, you're going to have the 9K through 12K. This heating capacity is only going to be down to -13, cooling down to -4 and up to 115. All right, so that was a quick review on the one-to-one ductless. Now can I talk about one of the things that seems to trip people up? We get a lot of questions about this, and this is the all-match indoor units. So when I talk about all-match, we're talking about the cassette, the slim duct, the console, floor ceiling, and the newest one-way cassette. So these models are going to be compatible with one-to-one on a Sapphire, a Vireo, and an Invo, and on the multi-zone outdoor unit. And you can do multi-zone up to 5 zones with the current models. These sizes are 9K through 24K in 230 volt configuration. And based upon the outdoor unit capacities, with Sapphire, Vireo, Invo, and the multi-zone, you're going to have the ultra heat capacity down to -22. And you're going to get cooling down to -20 and up to 122. So again, I want to point out that with these models, the 9K through 24K, these are what's compatible with Sapphire, Vireo, and Invo, and the multi-zone, okay? And the reason why you see this is, on Sapphire, Vireo, Invo, we don't make a 30 or a 36K. And on multi-zone, a 24K is the biggest unit you can put on a single port. So now we'll move on to the 30 and 36K models. So with the slim duct, cassette, floor ceiling, new floor standing model, these will be available in 30 and 36K models in 234 volt only. However, due to the size being 30 and 36K, these are only compatible with the Levo in 30 and 36K. So what we're seeing is 9 through 24 is not compatible with the Levo, only on the 30 and 36K. And so because of the outdoor unit capacity, you're only going to get the heating on these down to -13, cooling down to -4 and up to 115. Again, that seems to be a bit of confusion, but in all of our literature that you can find on greecomfort.com, clearly spelled out what is compatible with what. All right, now here's the multi-zone. Eventually, we're going to have up to 6 zones with the introduction of the 55K, but currently you're going to have just up to 5 zones. So as of right now, we can do up to 5 zones, available in sizes 18 through 42. And we will introduce the 48 and the 55 later this year. In fact, I think we already have some literature on the 48K available online. We won't see that product in the US for a few months. The 48K, that'll only be a 5-zone. It is the 55K that's going to be the 6-zone outdoor model. So again, these are compatible with our high walls, cassette, slim duct, floor ceiling, and the floor console, up to 42K outdoor units in the multi-zone. Later this year, we'll be releasing that 48K and the 55K. And again, I just want to emphasize right now on the 42K model and later the 48K model, that'll be a 5-zone system. The one that gets you the 6 zones is going to be the 55K that we release at the end of the year. You're going to get as high as 21 SEER 2, and it does have the ultra heat capability down to -22. And it will cool all the way down to -22 and up to 118 degrees. So again, going back through all of our ductless equipment, we're going to have pretty much anything to meet your needs, regardless of whether you live all the way up in Maine or down in South Texas. We've got you covered. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the FLEXX unitary split system. There's been a couple of changes on that product. Right now, with what we have in stock on the FLEXX Ultra, everything's in a 1-to-1 configuration. So as you can see, the sizes available are 24, 36, 48, and 60. And each size has a dedicated outdoor unit and a dedicated indoor unit based on the size. On the old 410A models, we had 2 outdoor units, and you can change the capacity with the flip of a dip switch. The current version of FLEXX Ultra doesn't have that. It's all dedicated sizes. So if you order one of these today from our warehouse, you're going to get something that looks like this. But as with the last FLEXX Ultra, you're going to get that ultra heat capacity down to -22. And of course, on the cooling, you're going to look at 5 degrees all the way up to 129 degrees. So here's the change that's coming to the FLEXX Ultra product. We're going to go back to 2 sizes on the outdoor. So as you can see here, it's going to be available in a 36K and a 60K. And with the 36K, you're going to switch the dip switch on the outdoor unit to get you a 24K capacity or a 36K capacity. Same thing on the 5-ton. You just change a dip switch to determine whether you're getting a 48K or a 60K. And then depending on your application, you'll buy the indoor model that corresponds with that. On the indoor models, you can notice that there was a model number change. So on the first slide, the indoor model says FXU. On the second slide, you see the models to the indoor unit change to an FXE. The reason for that is because of the introduction later this year of the FLEXX Eco in R32. So here's the FLEXX Eco. What we're doing is reducing SKUs by allowing the dip switches in the outdoor unit, but we're also going to a common air handler. So no longer will you have an Ultra air handler and an Eco air handler. Everything will use the Eco style air handler. Now this is what the Eco will look like. And because the Eco has always included the half-ton sizes, there are going to be 3 outdoor units instead of just 2. So we'll start with a 30K to get the 2-ton or the 2.5. The 3-ton will be dedicated, just one size, so no dip switches to change on the 3-ton. And then you'll have a 60 or a 5-ton outdoor unit, which will cover the 4-ton and the 5-ton. And then with the air handlers, you see there's just one additional air handler in there versus the Ultra matchups, and that's the introduction of the 2.5. You will see that the 42 is missing. So the 3.5, there is no 3.5 available. We're looking at maybe introducing that, but based off of the old FLEXX Eco and just the market data, we don't see a lot of the 3.5s moving. It seems like the 3 or the 4-ton covers most applications. Just cover, this is what the current product looks like. We only have the FLEXX Ultra. It's all dedicated sizes. And then with the new FLEXX Ultra that will be brought in later this year, we're going to go back to the 2 outdoor units with the dedicated indoor unit sizes, using a common air handler with the FLEXX Eco. So again, the FLEXX Eco is going to have 3 units on the outdoor. Another big change for the FLEXX Eco, I will say, is the performance. On the old version, it was, 15 and a half, 16 SEER type entry tier product. With this, we've increased the SEER ratings, HSPF and the EER. And this is more of a southern high efficiency model. The South, they focus less on, say, HSPF or cold climate technology, and they focus more on maybe the EER. So we've worked to get those ratings up. And of course, the SEER is also higher. And because this unit doesn't have the ultra heat, it only heats down to 5 degrees. We were able to get rid of that ultra heat compressor and focus on that higher efficiency in the cooling season. Those are the major changes there in the FLEXX and the Ductless product. If you have any questions about the changes or any of the existing equipment, feel free to click the question mark icon, submit your question. Or if you're watching this on YouTube after the air date, feel free to submit your questions in the comments. So that's all I have. Thank you.